believe all of you here have joined us to know more about our talk today, which is Nature's Prize for Progress. Now, before we dive deep into the topic, sebelum kita mendalami and kita menghayati pengalaman Encik Rashdan, so I would like to briefly introduce Akademi Harimau Asia. So Akademi Harimau Asia is an organization that champions STEM. Okay, so we champion STEM through education, through relevant opportunities, and also through economic empowerment programs in Malaysia. The idea is to build a better future and also a community that is prepared and ready for tomorrow. Okay, so if you would like to know more about Akademi Harimau Asia, log on to our Facebook page and to our website, akademiharimauasia.com, and you can also visit any of our social media. Twitter, we have Instagram, and we have our Facebook, like what I mentioned earlier. Everything you can just search for Akademi Harimau Asia, we're there. So without further ado, I would like to go into today's session. And we have a very, very important, interesting, and also a very experienced person with us to share about a critical aspect of our everyday life, which is the environment. Now, as an introduction, we have witnessed a lot of issues related to the environment, and without going into too much detail, okay, so for those of you who have been following the happenings in Malaysia, okay, so some of the key areas that we've noticed in which we've got problems with, okay, so the common themes every year when it comes to environmental issue, it surrounds the problems that such as haze, and then we've got open burning, and on top of that, the most famous, if not the most famous, is our water pollution problem. Okay, so water pollution has led to many issues in the country. I need not go deeper into that. Now, over the past 20 years, gross domestic product has been rising about 50% in many parts of the world. Now, millions have been lifted out of poverty, and we live for better and longer lives than ever before because of various technological advancements and also development in science and other areas of our lives. Now, much of this can be attributed, and we can be thankful to our human ingenuity, like what I just told you. And most importantly, we are indebted to our environment. Okay, so one thing that we have witnessed over the past years is that development and progress comes with a price to the environment, whether it's building houses, whether it is transporting people through highways and whatnot. We have noticed that all these have resulted in some form of destruction to the environment, and some have resulted in major catastrophes. So today we have someone with us, Mr. Rashdan Rashid, who will be, of course, introducing himself later and also talking about what he does. But Mr. Rashdan Rashid is the president of Malaysia's Sustainable Nature Association, or more commonly known as My Nature, someone who is a veteran in the environmental sector through his work, through the projects that he's been involved in, and through the community development programs that he conducts. So Mr. Rashdan, after this, will be talking a little bit more about the work that he does. Just as an icebreaker, Mr. Rashdan, maybe you can share something about yourself that you would like the audience to know, something, maybe hobi yang tidak diketahui ramai, something to kickstart the session with. So tell us something interesting about yourself, Mr. Rashdan.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good evening. Thank you, Mark, for the introduction. And then I really like the last one about my hobby and so on. Actually, I got so many hobbies. Okay, first thing first. I'm a local lad. I'm from Kuala Lumpur, born in 1979. So I'm no longer Belia. I'm already Beliau. Okay, with a U at the back instead of just a Belia. So been involved in community works, especially back then during my school days. I'm very much active during my school days. Many what do you call that, activities carried out in my school, my beloved alma mater. Okay, I'm a VI boy, Victoria Institution, batch of 1996. All right. From there onward, I'm very much involved in my alumni. I registered as a member, and then I got to know a lot of my prominent old boys. And this, I think, this already gave you guys what I call that, tips lah. Now, what I'm trying to share with you guys today is about who do you know and who knows you. Okay, all right. Before we start our focus area, but about myself, born in KL, studied in Brickfield School, and then moved to VI. But I don't further my study. Okay, for what personal reason. Okay, actually I'm helping my late mom selling nasi lemak in Bukit Amansara. Okay,
Oh,
quite famous. I mean, my late mom cooks quite famous. I can say that a lot of
oh,
people in Damansara, Bangsa, PJ miss her cooks. Okay, our nasi lemak. All right, and then they pass. My parent passed away, and then I'm 100% doing this. I'm full time. I can say I'm full time doing this community works since 2007. I started with my alumni, my schools. Okay, and then just branch out lah, from education. That's why I'm very much when Mark offered me to be one of to be the panel tonight. Actually, there's no lah. I mean, straight away I say yes. I want to contribute something, all right, for our future generation. So I'm very much into education, even though I don't further my study in uni or what's on. But my passion toward education is second to none. You know why? Because when I say I grew up in Brickfields, okay, I can see that a lot of our issue back then is about poverty. You see, there's a lot of squatters, at the river bank of Sungai Klang, and then they move out. I don't know where, probably somewhere in Puchong, by the BKL. They move there out, so that all my life when I was a kid, when I was a small teenagers, I see a lot of this issue lah coming from this underprivileged, from this urban poor community. And then apparently that myself also, I used to stay in the flat, the BKL flat, one room flat in Bangsa back then. 10 years, I grew up in Bangsa. Then we moved to Brickfields. Then, as I said, I devote myself to help my mother. Okay. Then from there onward, I got to know a lot of people. Okay, I got to know a lot of people, my customers, and then after I finally do full time, doing these community works back in 2007. Then it started lah. It started, from education. Then I moved into health. I do promote a lot of community health project. All right, and then by accident 2014, I come across that I need to venture into this nature, because it happened when I was appointed as the chairman of PTA for Batu Road School. Okay, it's Jalan Raja Laut, dekat Jalan Raja Laut. So I can see that a lot of these poor, okay, urban poor kids, they can't afford, to join activities carried out by the school. So as a chairman of the PTA, so it's my duty, to help them, at least to give them equal what they call opportunity, So at least they can at least go out from Kuala Lumpur, from the city center, and see what's actually outside Kuala Lumpur. So what happened? I got to know a friend of mine who owned a zoo in Lancang, Pahang.
okay.
Okay, this Haji Abdullah. He owned deer land. Deer land. You guys can Google deer land in Lancang, Pahang. So we shared something common, which that we want to make sure that our future generation, so that at least they can interact with the animals. Because when you go to zoos, okay, any zoos, or all this established zoo, you can't do much. You can't touch, you can interact with the, you can feed them, and but in their land. So the owner, allowed that to happen because he want people to have the experience, you see, okay, with our fauna lah, kan. So mainly I can say from there onward, so we decided to form Lestari Alam Malaysia. So Lestari Alam Malaysia, and then the first project that I'm involved, imagine city boy like me, and suddenly I moved to what they call that, hutan lah, the reserve forest in Kerau, in Lancang, and they call it hutan Kerau. So we did this conservation on historic Brakura or porcupine or landak raya. In Bahasa is landak raya. Okay, so it I learned a lot from that Haji Abdullah. Okay, from zero knowledge about nature, and then I know more about the fauna. All right, then moving forward, back in KL after 3 months, I'm also involved in this local Agenda 21 Kuala Lumpur. It's a unit under town planning department of DBKL. Then I've been appointed, out of sudden I've been appointed as the chairman for urban farming. So this is how it started, you see. So from someone who just very much involved in welfare activities, suddenly I'm more into the sustainable initiative. So I've been appointed by DBKL, by the mayor of KL back then, 2016. All right. And then we started to engage more community. And from there onward, and I foresee that there's a lot of things need to be done. Okay, especially on educating the community. So when we say about community, I am very much into knowing all the chairman of the schools, PTA, chairman of RAs, and then the corporate, what do you call it? The corporate heads, Then we start to design many projects, not just urban farming, but we have numbers of projects. So I can say that from 2016 onward, so I didn't look back, and then I move on until today. From the beginning of 12 urban farm, consists of schools, consists of the RA flats, landed property, placemaking like kebun-kebun bangsa, from the beginning. And today, I'm handling almost 80 urban farming community in KL. So I think I will elaborate more later. So I think I will pass back to you, Mark. Thank you. Mark, are you here with me? Hi, Mark. Okay. So I think, I don't know what happened. Suddenly, Mark's missing. Okay, our MC. Okay, I just share to you guys, okay, about my experience, when I've become this ETA chairman, I foresee that a lot of what I call that, leaking in the system. So many don't understand, especially parents, about their participation in schools. So what I do, yes, Mark.
Okay, I can
Okay,
hear you now. Sorry, there was
okay,
some disturbance with my line earlier.
That's the thing. Okay, back to you. Okay.
Okay, sorry, I missed some parts of it because of some technical issues earlier, but no worries. Okay, one part that I'm actually interested in, Rashdan, about your work is your alignment to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, so I actually wanted to have you speak to us a little bit more about how did you first come across the SDGs, and is it that through your organization or through the work that you're doing right now, are you helping the locals, meaning our makcik kia lah, okay, our makcik kias in the kampongs, or even our pakcis in the rural areas, or even our para belia in different segments of Malaysia? how are we making them more aware of jargons? So should I say lah, okay, major jargons that we have today. For example, we have Industry Revolution 4.0, IR 4.0. Today, we also have many other relative terms that are much more popular in urban settings. But how are the messages that's being discussed at a higher level at our World Economic Forum lah, UN lah, how are they reaching the grassroots? And what is SDG to them?
Okay, Mark, thanks for that. Actually, this initiative SDG has been happening elsewhere. I can say that my very good example is Indonesia. Okay, in 2016, all right, we had this roundtable discussion. Okay, DBKL invited all the stakeholders, town planner, architects, and all the policymakers. One workshop or roundtable discussion somewhere in the city center. Okay, the outcome from that actually we decided to focus on 5 areas. You see, 5 areas which actually is in line with this SDG. Okay, before I elaborate more, okay, I will share with you guys about the beginning, how I'm involved. I'm getting involved with these SDGs. Okay, we in KL, the community of KL. So we agree, to promote 5 initiative. I will name it. First one actually is about ecology and biodiversity of river. Okay, as you mentioned earlier, the most famous issue currently is about our supply of water, the quality of water, right?
Yes.
So actually that is number one. Okay, so what actually we want to solve, we want to we want to get everyone participate and make things make it better lah. Our river. That's why we have River of Life project. I can say that many aware that our local authority, our city hall, DBKL, spend a lot, on beautifying. Okay, what do you call it? The river banks, So all the way up, coming from Stapa, Awang Semaju, until Pantai Dalam lah. Okay, so I believe that people see what effort made by DBKL, which that 2016 we discussed with all the stakeholders that we want to make sure that River of Life project is a project that can can make Kuala Lumpur greater. So that's one. Secondly, is about tree planting. You see, I think for many years, a lot of people, promoting about we need to replant, we need to teach our young ones, about the importance of making our city green, and then this is part of the low carbon initiative. You see, so is a main component, and that's where I came in lah. My kebun. So not just we grow vegetables, so we also do plant trees. All these macam-macam lah. So many trees lah. Pokok sentol and so on. Okay, because we also have project in schools. Many schools nowadays are really keen to be part of our urban farming project. So I can say number 2 is very successful because you guys can check. None of any community projects in Malaysia have support like what we're having now. I think one of it previously, which are so famous like kebun-kebun bangsa lah, until today, and massive people visiting and duplicate what our friend Seksan have done in kebun-kebun bangsa. Okay, that's number 2. And number 3, we have this renewable energy initiative. You see, as you can see, many schools. I mean, many government facility are starting to practice, this solar panel, all this renewable energy and so on. So soon our mayor, our beloved mayor, will launch this initiative, and we can see many buildings in KL will equipped with all this renewable energy and so on. So actually there are many, but I think I will focus more on solar first because we really need that. All right, at the moment. And then number 4 is about circular economy. This also I can share later my success story, how I developed one community as a PPR community in Kepong, whereby that the people over there, they are the one actually who manage their waste. You know, so because we want to avoid the waste to be transferred to the landfill. So it happened in KL, we have champion already. So after 2 years of hard works, get them involved, not just the elder, what I call it, the adult. So my team, or I can say that the junior who running this project every weekend on Sunday. So they are still practicing, even though during the MCO, but with a proper SOP. So the number 4 is very successful. We have circular economy initiative and full support from our city hall. Okay, and also we have corporate companies like Unilever Malaysia, FNN, FNN. So they are our strong supporter, like Adabi, so many people already what do you call it, buy the idea of making the community sustainable, by themselves, not from the local authority. So okay, that's number 4. And then last but not least is, I think now it's very famous. You can see every weekend our city full of bikers, people cycling nowadays, And then as you can see also at this River of Life, we DBKL, they build this, what I call that, the trail, the walking trail, so that the accessibility of city is connected lah, what I can say. So this initiative, 5 initiative actually is part of this SDG. Okay, if you can see lah, is more on the goals number 11, sustainable city and community. Okay, my personal point of view and area of interest, actually I have 2 goals actually I want to share with all of you guys today. One is the one I just mentioned, goals 11, sustainable city and community, because we can't do much if the community are not aware, don't participate in this what they call it, SDG, to make sure that the city will be livable city, will be more what they call that, sustainable city and so on lah. Okay, and the last goals actually among the 17th, that is my best area, which is partnership for the goals. You see, I did mention earlier when I'm very much involved in my alumni, there's a lot of what I call that, top personnel in their organization. So which my among my friends, my what I call that, a group of people that actually sharing the same common lah, which that we love the city, we love the school and so on. So it's easy for me to organize any initiative and so on. That's why many of the programs which I'm carrying out, thanks God, I do have a lot of support because of the partnership. See, because we can't do alone. We can't do alone. See, we need the local authority support. We need any agencies related support, like the first one, the river one. We need this JPS, Jabatan Pengenalan Saliran support. Okay, I'm back, is it?
Yeah, now you're back. Now you're back.
Okay, okay, thanks God. Okay, so we need every what do you call that? Every field expert to be part of all initiative, like my initiative, urban farming. All right, a lot of people looking forward to have their own farm, but knowledge is the thing. So in fact, myself, I don't have any background, on agriculture, but I learn from the activities, from all the workshop that being carried out, along for the last 5 years. So this is the most important component, the know-how things. So what happened? We have partnership from all walk of life, from all the expert, mainly UT Putra Malaysia, the UPM. So they organize on behalf of our initiative. So many our partners actually benefit from this workshop and so on. So as you can see, from zero knowledge, the community in upskill, so they can run their own farming lah, no? To be compared with those who actually I can say that they are expert like kebun-kebun bangsa. They got so many support from all the NGO, the NGI, In fact, that international what they call it, growers also travel. I mean, come and support kebun bangsa. So this is where I'm coming from. So this partnership for the goals is a very, very important component in order for us to sustain any community project. Okay, back to what do you call that? Amount of my project, my successful project lah, which I practice this SDG. One of it actually is a project that I'm running currently with the Ministry of Federal Territory, is the Homeless Transformation Center, in Taman Desa. Okay, to share with you guys how it happened back in February. Okay, in February, I've been called by the Director General Office. Okay, how that we can upscale the homeless, because during the pandemic, during the MCO, homeless actually are the people who actually really need help, because they are homeless, they got nowhere to go, and then they are very much high risk lah. I can say that they are the one actually the easy target, to be the ni lah kan. So what happened? DBKL they rescue. I don't say they yang dah tangkap they rescue 200 of the homeless. Okay, in city center, several spots, retails and to name a few lah. And what happened after that? They were sent to this 3 center. Okay, one in Sentul, Setiawangsa, and one is in the I can't remember where, but the one that I'm handle was in Sentul. Okay, so those actually don't have any problem with drugs. They are normal homeless. They don't involve with drugs, and then they have a better health condition. So they have been transferred to Anjong Kelana in Taman Desa. So what happened? My team, we give them basic knowledge about farming. All right, about farming, because we don't want them to return back to the roadside and then become a homeless again. All right, and then thanks God, after what I can say, 8 months, 8 months, started in March. So we have numbers of them now working scattered in Klang Valley. Some of them working in the palm oil in the palm oil punya estate. Then some of them still carrying this project, running the homeless punya urban farming project. And then now we also have this shop, they call it Hijrah Warrior Might, whereby that people can support and the activity. So I really hope that many actually who listen, who watch or follow this program, so they can I can help them whether they want to do this kind of similar project. So this is, I can say, one of the best homeless project in Malaysia. I can say that because we show the result after 6 months. I think after 6 months, people already acknowledge this initiative. And then the latest one that I want the youth over there, outside there, to come forward and then participate in a project which I just did a pre-launch last Saturday in Rumah Titian Kasih. So now this is where I see how that we can solve the homeless problem. We need to tackle from the grassroots, so the kids from the charity home is our new client. All right, and then I think everyone know in Klang Valley alone, we have, I can say, thousands of them. All right, thousands of charity homes that really need help. See, so I did last Saturday. We collaborate with Puspanita di BKL, and then with the help of our NGO partners, Green Steps, which our partner thought about how to produce compost to these kids from the age of 13 to 16 years old. How that compost can be used lah for their punya project lah, urban farming project. And then we have Bangi Hijau, Mr. Nizam taught them how to manage plant. You see, so we have also a collaboration with University Putra Malaysia, the Horticulture Club of UPM will become their mentor lah, so that every week over the weekend, the boys from this charity home called Rumah Titian Kasih, situated opposite of our Istana Negara at Jalan Ledang. So we teach them, how to be this agropreneur, So instead of just a normal program, so we have in mind to develop them to become a trainer in the future. So of course, we have so many schools. We have 300 schools. We have hundreds of charity homes. So we want the kids from this Rumah Titian Kasih to be the trainer, so that we grow up, we develop them, all right, to become a champion, a game changer lah, per se. So this is the thing that needs to be done, by the people of any community. So we cannot neglect the youths, the kids, especially. As I said, I did wonders with a PPR Pekan Kepong, from zero knowledge about waste management. So we turn them. So this is where I can say that I've managed to transform the homeless. Now I move to the charity home, and then at the same time I have the PPR success story, in PPR Pekan Kepong. So this is the thing that we need to connect the dot, so that it show that a lot of things can be done, if we understand what is SDG all about. So in KL, I believe that if we can focus on developing, or I can say that empower the community, then the rest is mere. So meaning that whatever initiative that we have, we want to to embark, we need to tackle the people first, design the people first, then we can design whatever program later. Because without the participation, then we will facing hard time to maintain. This is where I can see, based on my experience, a lot of community projects. I don't want to mention my not so happening project. Yes, I think numbers of project which fail because of the people. So from there, I learned, I know that SDG 11 is a very, very important, because when you talk about economic growth, when you talk about life on land, when you talk about initiative equality, and quality education and so on, it's all about the people. That's why my focus is attack the people first. Groom, get the champion from each community. As I said, I have community from the PPR, I have community from the landed property, I have the community from the NGO who are championing the project. One of the upcoming project that I believe everyone will support, and your AHA must be part of it, is Smart Community. It's a new initiative from local agenda, led by this Green Steps. Green Step is a movement from Taman Tun Dr. Ismail TTDI. So I believe that this is going to be the game changer. This is going to be the, we will change the landscape of sustainable community, in KL. So I really can't hardly wait to be launched by the mayor soon, very soon. So I think you guys need to take this opportunity because to learn from the expert. Okay, so we already designed numbers of project. Okay, and then but still we need more people. That's why I'm happy that I've been given this opportunity to share with you guys, okay, what that we can offer back. So local authority, the city hall, not just the city hall. Okay, so we have 152 all over Malaysia local authority. We actually sharing the same common interest to make sure that the SDG, to make sure that the low carbon society is happening. But we need to focus in KL first. All right. One of the reasons because we are the capital city of Malaysia. So if we can't do much, now how we can help others? So that's why last week Majlis Bandaraya Pasir Gudang, okay, they arranged a trip for their urban farming community and visited, I think, about 6 of our urban farming project, okay, so that we exchange our experience, our knowledge, and so on. So this is very important because my advice to those who actually wanted to start the community project, you guys need to see, what is happening outside there, and then what's the component that can be gel into your project. As I said earlier, we have 5 low carbon initiative. If your place have a river, then you can start focus on that. So the Ministry of Environment and Water, now they are very much seriously focused into this in a movement called Kudah. Kudah actually is a short form of kutip, sampah, dan beriadah. Okay, Kudah. It's like plugging lah, It's like plugging. It's more about plugging, but Kementerian trying to make it more sound Malay, so that we want to attract more the younger people, the community actually, the community to be part of this Kudah. It's a very good project. We have numbers of success story about our friend of Sungai project. So I think you guys, whoever interested to know more, you are most welcome to visit one in Mid Valley. We have a River of Life project in Mid Valley at the overbridge there, run by Mr. Michael. He's the one actually initiated that River of Life project in Mid Valley. I can hook up with him. Maybe in the future that Mark, you can invite him as a guest as well.
Sure.
Don't worry, I will get as many people, all the community champion, all the community leader to be part of this webinar. You see, because we need
Thank you.
To share with others actually what's the success story. As I said earlier, not many people know that I've done wonders with these homeless, instead of just giving them. So we teach them fish instead of just giving a fish, but not siakap lah. All right. So, okay. So this is where we need the young people, the young blood, all these movement. As you mentioned, we need to start with this IoT, the revolution 4.0. So we need new ideas coming in so that we can improvise it. So as I said, this SDG is very important because we have this quality education. Goals number 4, to be dive in, to be gel into this sustainable city and community. So without that, actually nothing much we can do. Okay, I just share a bit my experience why that I'm very much into this community development. See, back in 2015, all right, 2015, I've been called by the previous mayor, the 11th mayor, and Ahmad Faisal. Before he retired, it was his last meeting with all the community leader. We have a chairman of Bukit Bintang Bersih. We have a chairman of Brickfield Selamat. We have a chairman of Taman Herbal, Sungai Mida, and so on. So I'm one of them, been invited to have a meeting with the mayor back then, Tan Sri Ahmad Faisal. So he did share about his experience back in 2011 when he was the Director General of Federal Territory Ministry. So he visited this kampung called Sukunan. in Yogyakarta, Indonesia. It's a very famous kampung led by this lecturer, Dr. Iswanto Nato. So he stayed there because the college that he worked is not far away from that kampung. So it happened that kampung was really in miserable state lah, you know. So rubbish everywhere, you know, the river, everything polluted, you see. And then the open burning, you know, you name it, all sort of problems were there lah back then in 2000, yes, in 2000 when he moved there. Then he made an initiative by starting with his family first. Okay, he taught the family how to segregate the waste, you know, the recyclables items, you know. So from there onward, more people joining in. So from his house, now all 376 houses there in that Kampung Sepunan practice the same best practices lah. Segregate the waste. And then from onward, from just segregating, he moved to next level, start producing compost. Okay, start do a making gas from the cow manure, you know, from the poo of manure, turn into methane gas. All right, and then a numbers of initiatives doing craft from the waste. Okay, hold on, I find my wallet. Hold on, yeah.
Sure.
Okay, this is an example, yeah. This is the black plastic bag, the garbage plastic bag.
Wow. Wow.
They turn wallet, don't know how much money that I have. So you see, it's a very simple thing, you know, from a garbage bag, and then they turn into a wallet. And then I just bought it for like 10 ringgit Malaysia. And you see how that this circular economy is a very, very vital or important for what do you call that, developing a community. So imagine in Kuala Lumpur, we spend a lot, massive, almost 400 millions, you know, yearly. 400 million for our waste. You know what I mean? So if we can, what do you call that? We can change the perception, the mentality of our KL-ites. You know, instead of throw away the money, make the waste as turn trash become our income, like what happening in PPR. Okay, we can help our city hall to save their fund, and then the fund, the available fund, the extra fund can be used to develop more community projects. See, like what happening also in Bandung. So I'm skipped from Jogja to Bandung.
Okay.
So what happened in Bandung? Okay, because it's not far from Yogyakarta. So I also pay a visit to Bandung because of they have this engineer called Ridwan Kamil. I think he's an engineer patient, very famous. You guys can Google it. Okay, so this Ridwan Kamil, he designed placemaking for the people of Bandung. No, so he had many fantastic placemaking projects. So this is what happening now. Okay, we have a Bernice from KPKT, what do you call that? It's an entity under KPKT, Kementerian the Housing and Local Authority. Actually helping up to design a placemaking in Kuala Lumpur. But same problem. Are the community ready to take up the responsibility? This is the thing. That's why I always remind whatever community, whoever actually want to start community project, make sure they buy in first. No, we want people to buy first the idea, all right, and then be part of it. Not just wait until someone else what do you call that, develop it, and then suddenly you want to come halfway. No, it doesn't work that way. So back to Indonesia again. After many years in Sukunan, Dr. Iswanto, he be invited to what do you call that, to share his success story in all over Indonesia. Just imagine they have about, if I'm not mistaken, about 20 or 20. No, 40 over kampungs, villages all over Indonesia, and half of them practice that sustainable living. You know, so they practice the circular economy initiative, and then automatically when they have all the resources like the compost and so on, so they have their own urban, I'm not saying urban garden, what do you call that? Edible garden. You see, so everyone, those who practice this initiative, I mean, they are practicing sustainable lifestyle and so on. So the committee automatically a sustainable community. Am I right? Okay, so this is where we want to make a change in Malaysia. All right, our beloved country. That's why we need young people, the harimaus, the young harimaus, the young harimaus to step forward. You guys don't worry, because myself, I had a zero knowledge back then. Seriously, I had a zero knowledge. As I mentioned, I'm just a Nasi Lemak seller, but I'm very passionate about helping our underprivileged community. Okay, the urban poor especially. So, and then from there I evolve. So, as I said, it's just a matter of you want it or you said that you don't care. So please come forward, and then I can share with you guys many initiatives that been carried out but not widely promoted. So that's why we need this webinar. We need a good people in IT and in IT to share about all this good deeds. As I can say, the more people can contribute, on promoting these community projects, I believe more young people will be involved, because all this while people thought that our I can say the policymaker will be focusing more on but no, it's wrong. It's wrong, yeah, because I'm one of the panel for Rancangan Malaysia ke-12 RMK12. My focus actually is a corporate community project. So tomorrow I'm heading to Cameron Highland, and then to share more about how that we can we can engage with more people in the future. So I think more or less it's all about the SDG again. All right. So we have 17. Focus on the people first, which is 11. All right. Then from there, you can break it up. You can start identify the areas that you want to tackle. All over Malaysia, we have 152 local authority. When you write to them, just mention that you want to implement at least one of that 5. I repeat, yeah, the river biodiversity, the tree planting slash urban farming. We have this renewable energy, this what do you call that? Circular economy, waste management, and lastly about the pedestrian walk and bicycle lane. So these 5 actually is a what do you call that? Is a must, to make sure that the city actually livable and then sustained. So that's about my point of view, my thought about SDG. And okay, as you said, it's jargon. All right, but we are going to the right direction if everyone work together. The schools, you name it. The schools, the RAs. If everyone understands, so we need to do more. What do you call that? Webinar or what do you call that? A workshop. Engaging more participation from the rest of the community. So I believe we are at the right track, and kudos to you guys, taking that the responsibility, making things happen. Then we can do more in the future lah. Okay, what's next, Mark? Tell me.
Fantastic sharing, Rashdan. I mean, I've been introduced to your work actually through many. I think through one way or another. I was also involved with River of Life once upon a time, and then being involved with urban farming, and renewable energy was where I actually practiced my engineering in. So when it came to technology, renewable energy technology, my personal involvement in RE and also EE, energy efficiency. So these are 2 areas I believe is very critical to not just the community within the Malaysian setting, but also on a more global landscape. So if you look at consumption, there was a study that was published on a year-to-year basis. There is an increment between 5 to 10% the need to consume energy. So this is on a much more global scale. So if you look at what the global population is right now, in years to come, the energy consumption and also how we use certain types of equipment may change because of the need to reduce consumption. So that, I think I will leave that for a discussion on another day. But what I want to zoom in on is the price that nature is paying. Okay, so if you look at like what you're doing, I admire the work that you do for the homeless and the work and impact that is going into upliftment of their socioeconomic standards as well. Now, this is where I want to play the devil's advocate a little bit. The more we focus on development, the higher rates go into more people becoming affected by not just jobs and development, but also we look at environmental consequences. So with development, there are certain price to pay, certain things that we face in terms of consequences. Rapid development leads to more and more development of housing in urban settings, the reduction of space, usage of land, especially very, very small areas. And then it comes to a bigger problem, which is flooding and heat trap in urban areas. Now, of course, all these issues, if you actually look at their trickle-down effect, at some point, it hits the economic threshold or the economic indicator. Because with flooding comes, various types of effects, with issues of haze, with issues of heat problems and whatnot within urban settings or even outskirts. But of course, we don't see much of this within the rural setting. The rural settings are much more, I would say they are much more balanced compared to how we are in the urban setting. So the problem here is, Rashdan, that I actually want to pose to you, or rather ask you about is, are we trying to rush development with the expense of the environment? I would basically just keep this to maybe the Klang Valley, because I know development outside KL or outside Klang Valley in selected areas, of course, are not as rapid as the Klang Valley. So maybe you can share more on that.
You see, that's about it. Previously, I can say that we don't see the importance of the green lungs, the green areas that we need to reserve it. So there's so many developments happening everywhere in Kuala Lumpur. So you can see the skyscrapers so everywhere nowadays. But we forgot about the human factor, the habitat. We're talking about the habitat now. All right. There are many empty buildings, empty spaces, and due to the development. But we don't have the solution on how that from that what do you call that unnecessary development then we turn into an opportunity. You see, it's back to placemaking again, right? Because it's already happened, but how that we can overcome it, how that we can counter it, and turn into something. Okay, I give you one example. Yeah, we have beautiful buildings, old buildings, heritage buildings, in KL. But what happened is been demolished to give away a new skyscrapers and so on. And it is an effort lah, to preserve number of them. So what I'm trying to say here actually is all about education. How that we educate the people. Example, in Yogyakarta again, in Yogyakarta, they really what do you call that? Maximize space, whatever they have. Okay, so they avoid building because they have earthquake and so on. But here in Malaysia, I mean in KL alone, we have different thought. We need to build all the skyscrapers in order to attract more investors and so on. But at the end of the day, that's what happened now, the pandemic. So a lot of in loss. So a lot of people move out, can't afford, to rent and so on. So what happened next? All right, so empty building. Okay, so this is the challenge is lah. But we can't run away from it. So what needs to be done, as I can see, we need to train, or we need to educate. All right, to educate more people about this building management and so on. Okay, because we are talking about space here. Okay, because nothing much we can do because it's already happened. So we can stop it, but we need to find how that we can make use of it. Example, yeah, in Japan they do indoor farming, and I think several countries like Taiwan also practicing that, and after the post-COVID, I believe, and many more buildings will be empty. All right, and then people start vacant all these spaces that available in KL. So this is where it's a bit difficult for me to what I call that to say, but the answer actually is everyone must take responsibility. All right. So imagine if we have many people who have knowledge in plantings, okay, become a growers, so we can grow many greens stuff, okay, I can say whatever, vegetables, plants, and so on, all over Kuala Lumpur. So instead of just an empty building, so we beautify it, we put up all the green stuff. So at least all these underprivileged or the poor, the urban poor people, they still can enjoy, have a food. Like one example, this is actually my upcoming project example, yeah. I think many aware that the former Minister of Territory, Tan Sri Anna Musa, uh, he he managed to convince the owner of this hotel called Grand Season, yeah, Grand Season Hotel. Now it called Rumah Prihatin. Okay, is it located opposite HKL? Okay, so what happened? It's a massive hotel. I think back then in the 80s, 90s, everyone know about Grand Seasons KL. Now it's empty. So what's happened? So I did manage to talk to the head of that Rumah Prihatin, this Dato'. I said, Dato', why don't we turn this beautiful building, even though it's an old building, into indoor urban farming? We can grow microgreen. Example, yeah, we can grow microgreen. We can do a lot of what do you call that courses, so that we need to train more people to understand the importance about plantings, you see, so that wherever places, even though it's a building or just a piece of land belong to the government or probably any private, so the owner will love to see the area be vacant with plants and so on, so they can do it, because they already have the knowledge. So as I said, uh, it's all about back to knowledge again. So if we can train the people how to become a good growers, so that we can solve this problem. Or else we never had we're facing more problem in the future, because there's a many empty buildings and lands for now. I can say yes, we have limited space, but I can say uh, it can be used, like, it can be used for the what to turn it into the green spot, lah. So even though I'm not, I don't give 100% answer, but on my point of view, where I'm coming from, I believe it's all about the knowledge, how that we can utilize, we can make use of all these unused or maybe empty spaces and so on, or buildings, for the betterment lah, for the good use lah. So that's what I can say lah.
All right. Thank you, Rashnan, for your response to the inquiry that I had earlier. Now, I just want to ask something. I want to ask you something based on what you mentioned. So I believe now a lot of your initiatives, okay, to not only assist with the upliftment of the homeless, but also in terms of converting certain unused, areas into green projects, as well as sustainable communities, building sustainable communities. Now, what is the bigger picture? So what are we trying to achieve for Malaysia as a whole, and where is or what is the deadline for us? How soon are we looking at eventually getting initiatives such as yours, not only to be centered in, of course, KL or Klang Valley as a whole, but we see a lot, in fact, not just initiatives that are focusing on environment, initiatives that are focusing on SDGs. A lot of it are being basically concentrated within Klang Valley or KL, because KL is the capital of Malaysia. But I think here lies also the problem, because we have too much concentration within the urban center. And I believe, like what you mentioned, there are plans to develop this further. Now, what are the plans moving forward as we try to achieve the 2030 target? So where are we heading in terms of building a much more knowledge-oriented and action-driven society of Malaysia as a whole, not just in KL, but in other states, other villages. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Now we are keluar sikit daripada Kuala Lumpur. Okay. For you guys punya info on the 3rd of August. Recently, 3rd of August, the Ministry of Housing and Local Authority (KPT) they launched this policy. It sounds like macam not so important, but from our topic today is a very very important, which is that community urban farming policy. So you see that once we have the policy, it's easy for the people to run or to engage with every stakeholders. You see, so mainly I can say that people are focusing more on the city center, like in KL, Johor, JB, Ipoh, and so on. But for your info, as I said, 152 local authorities. They were advised by the ministry to practice low carbon initiative, which is the 5 again. Okay, but still the problem is about the champion. All right, the champion. So I think tonight, this segment or this session actually is a very very important, because my role here actually is to share how we can get the ball rolling. Let's say a guy from Batang Kali. So it fall under Majlis Bandaraya Ulu Selangor. Okay. So Batang Kali or Rawang, or probably because this is more to a bit suburban. Okay, suburban. All right, not far from Kuala Lumpur, but still it's totally different environment we compared with here in KL, PJ, Shah Alam. Am I right? Okay. So what needs to be done actually is to make sure there is someone local who can lead the community. Okay, myself, I'm from KL. Okay, all my life I'm from KL. But what I can say is, what I can share with people of Ulu Selangor is about what is happening in KL. But the landscape is totally different. Am I right? Okay, I think you agree with me, right? So what needs to be done? The Ministry of Youth and Sports, I believe they have their Majlis Belia Daerah. They call it lah, district punya ni. So the Majlis Belia Malaysia, the HQ is in KL lah, in Ceras, Wisma Zilan. So need to communicate with the state office, youth office, and then to train the district punya leader. What we want them to understand about what is SDG all about. We want them to apply, okay, what been done elsewhere. Okay, from Indonesia, now I move to Cambodia. Okay, Cambodia, they have one initiative. You guys can Google Coconut School. It's a coconut. They call it Coconut School. So this young chap is very passionate about education, just like you, Mark. Okay, so I think he also focused more on STEM as well, STEM, STEAM, and STREAM as well. Okay, so you see, only the local understand the people over there. So it's totally different. People from Ulu Selangor, you can compare with people with Mersilau in Kota Kinabalu. or maybe people from Miri in Sarawak. No, it's totally different. Am I right? So we need to empower the local, in order for them to run or manage their community. So we just can help on doing the setup or doing the startup lah, how to get the ball rolling. But the most important part actually is to empower the youths or the young people from that locality, or else it will not sustain. Because example, once I've settled my project in, let's say, Ulu Selangor, okay, let's say I did engage with them probably like 3 months, I groomed them, and then I'm off. That's it. Bye bye. So I come back in 6 months' time. I come back maybe in a year time. The thing I can guarantee it happened. It's still happening, So it happened, but it's not happening. So this is where we want to ensure everyone who so-called youth leader, he or she need to understand first, okay, what needs to be done, designing the people so that they need to duplicate or replicate, the enabler, or we call it penggerak, people who actually run the show. No, it's not about one person. It's not about the local authority punya responsibility. It's not about the company, the corporate CSR project. No, it's about the people who will live their life over there. So out of Kuala Lumpur, I had this project in Rembau. Back then, I started 2019. Okay, I brought along my interns from UST Malaya, and then we taught the local in Pedas and in Chembong how to produce compost. You see, so this is a very basic things. So imagine a young student from UST Malaya, run a compost workshop for the people of Rembau. So you see, what I mean. So it's not a rocket scientist thing. But we need to, I can say, share with others outside there. The importance of basic knowledge on getting community project done. Okay, we have ample lands in Negeri Sembilan because they have thousands of acres customary land. But what happened? No, I don't want to mention who, but our friend from other countries actually make use of it. Countries meaning we have more than a country. I think the foreigner actually practice and make use of it, because we have zero knowledge on farming and so on. Okay, so that's where we need to change our approach with the young ones. Okay, starting from the kindergartens. From now on, we need to start engage with the kindergartens all over Malaysia, teach them the basics of food production. I mean, food to table ataupun seed to table. Seed to table initiative. Teach them how to plant. Accordingly. Start with microgreen, very basic things, and then slowly they can develop. So this is where I believe the leader from every district youth association or whatever they call it, and I think they call it Majlis Belia Daerah lah, okay, and if I'm mistaken. So they can take this, they must, not necessarily, they must take this in responsibility to transform their own the locals. So we can help on setting up the module and so on, but they are the one actually need to do all the rest of the work lah. So from there onward, I believe more people will participate. All right, because they know that the champion is from, it's local, not from KL or elsewhere. So we need to practice that now. Better late than never. So we need to do it now, because we just also launched this Agro Dasar Makanan Negara 2.0. Okay, so you see, the government actually are doing their level best lah, to tell the people, to the public, okay, we have this policy, we have that policy, and then how to manage. But the way how that we communicate is still lacking. So we need more session like this in the future. We know we need to have more involvement coming from all the agencies, and then the participation of youths, is a must. To be honest, is a must, because coming back from the neighboring countries that I visited, I've been to Singapore, I've been to Thailand, I've been to Indonesia. Okay, I can say that they give freedom to the youth. I want to say to express whatever that I mean the community project. So this really make a lot of difference, I can say, to be compared with what is happening now in Malaysia. Another good example, this one is back in 2019, and I think September 2019, I visited Surabaya. Okay. I didn't surprised to see that every Friday they have their spring cleaning, a massive spring cleaning. It's not just like what we are practicing here in Malaysia. If you want to involve in spring cleaning, go to Royong. First thing people will ask, ada makan kah? And then ada t-shirt tak? Okay, and then ada lucky draw tak? So this is yang it's not online. The word lah, simple word is not on. So it's not happening there in Surabaya. In Surabaya, they love the city very well. So they know that if not theirs, I mean, if they are not the one who do it, who else? You can expect other people to come and collect and manage the rubbish for them. So they do this river cleaning. They do all this segregation. They do black fly things. Yeah, they do a lot of fantastic. The 3 days of my visit there, I had a very clear picture. Hello, what happened? To what happening to our beloved country? Why we can duplicate what these people, I mean, our neighbor country, have done. So as I said, better late than never. All right, Mark. You have a very what do you call that? Tough job lah, to I can say to get along lah, to bring along as many young people to participate in, as you said, you were involved in a River of Life project. I think the different, when you're not be given the authority and the freedom and to run a project, and compared to like macam you see, you have the limitation. So that's why we need to change. From now on, we need to change. We need to duplicate whatever the practices yang been done dekat Surabaya, Jogja, even in Cambodia, in Thailand, they have this Machai school, bamboo school. So in Bali also they have this Bali bamboo school. So there are many good examples. You see, many good initiative carried out there, but as I said, it's still not too late lah. It's still not too late. I have a strong feeling that we can ni. Our harimau lah, our young harimau boleh bangun balik lah. Wake up again. Okay, like back in the early 90s, we are so great back then. So I think high time that we need to wake up to awaken the sleeping harimau lah. Okay, so I can share a bit, from the area of just to get people to plant, till the people to understand what is RE&E, as you did mention. All right, it's a very important component, but start with small thing first. Teach people how to manage the waste. Okay, and at the same time grow things. Instead of just wait and we are not moving forward actually. So that's why I said it's a very good opportunity. I can say today I'm very happy, I'm very blessed that we have people like you and your team, from AHA teams. So you guys have a noble heart, and I believe you guys can grow further in the future lah. And itulah we need to have more often series like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can exchange more that stories, more experience, and so on. So I will always give my full support lah, in the future lah.
Thank you.
So anything else? Before we wrap, of course, I need to to prepare my stuff for tomorrow meeting.
Okay.
What else?
Okay. No problem. Maybe we've got another 15 minutes, but I will try to wrap it up as soon as possible for you. Now, maybe to end the session today, okay. One advice that you would want, not just young Malaysians, but all Malaysians tuning in today, or like I said, because this session is recorded. And by the way, before I go into the advice section, the part where I ask you to advise, I just want to echo whatever you said. It is truly important that all stakeholders come together. And I truly believe the power of the masses can definitely make a difference in this country. Whether it's through community building, whether it's through empowering an initiative, empowering a segment of the community, or all segments of the community who are involved in different areas of not just development, but prosperity of Malaysia. I truly believe it is a common responsibility that will lead to mutual benefit. So today, first and foremost, I must say thank you to Rashdan, because without whom today's session wouldn't be possible. And I think you shared a lot of nuggets of wisdom earlier. Very, very exciting projects to look forward to, Rashdan. Definitely, I think it's an opportunity for all young Malaysians, or in fact, Malaysians of all walks of life, for them to participate in the work that you do, and also the work of all agencies that are involved, whether it's government, it's corporate, or it's like what you said, NGOs, NGIs. I think there's plenty of room for collaboration, plenty of room to work together, and definitely plenty of room for us to drive the agenda of sustainability in this country. Not just in the environment, but most importantly for the prosperity and balance of people. Now, on that note, I want to end with your key takeaway. Moving forward, your advice for all those listening, not only today, but after this. Of course, this video will be up for the viewership of the masses, whoever is tuning. If you want to watch again, you're more than welcome to view this on our YouTube channel. It's also available on our Facebook page. Visit Academy Harimau Asia, our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. This video is available for your viewing. So on that note, Rashdan, end it with the fantastic advice that we can all follow through with.
Okay, cool. Not so fantastic. It's about, I think you already stole a bit of my punya my phrase. It's not mine. It's okay. A bit story lah, just a bit story, because this is about the youth thingy when I was still a youth lah back then. 2012, I was involved in this project called what do you call that? Drug Free Youth Association. Okay, it's an NGO, Drug Free Association. So we had an office in Urban Village. I don't know whether you heard about it. Urban Village in Bangsa.
Desa Pandan.
No. Urban Village in Bangsa.
Oh, okay.
In Bangsa, back in 2012.
Right.
2012.
Okay.
So numbers of young talented chaps, talented Malaysian, coming all over places. They are in this what do you call that, arts and culture punya background. Okay, so I love to see what they did before lah. What they practiced back then. Then one of this guy, actually he's the founder of this village. Okay, in one of his talk, he did mention about collaboration. So this is back in 2012, not 2016, 2012. Okay. So the component this SDG actually already been practiced. Okay, the word that I want to share with all of you guys outside there is collaboration is always better than competition. Okay, I will elaborate a bit
Yeah,
before we end up question.
no worries.
Malaysia, we love to compete, and then we don't really make good make good output lah, So not like our other countries, where they compete for the goods. So we here we compete for different goal. I don't know why. So everyone want to do good things, but they don't want to work together. So imagine if everyone have the common goals, have the common what I call that objective in whatever they are doing. So we will get greater impact. So that's why collaboration is always greater than competition. So you compete for the good, for the good sake, not because I want to be top of the league. I'm better than you. You better. No such thing. So if you want to move forward, we need to learn how to work together, like what Academy Harimau Asia is doing tonight.
Thank you.
I really appreciate honestly your effort, even though I did not say reject and say, oh, Mark, I really tired. Maybe we can do next week or whatever. You still insist. No, I want you myself to be part of tonight. And then it's an honor for me. It's an honor for me to share my small contribution for our nation building initiative, like education, health,
Mm.
environment, welfare, and I don't know, well-being and welfare. So I believe that we are moving to the right direction. All right. So the Academy Harimau Asia, I believe you have a very clear, crystal clear direction, and with your good practice, I believe with the collaboration of many stakeholders, we can achieve more in the future. So I repeat again, collaboration is always greater than competition. Thank you then from RR.
Thank you,
Okay.
Rashad. Thank you
My
so
pleasure.
much. I think it was a fantastic takeaway, better than what you would have expected. Like, I think now, truly grateful and honored to have you today for our session. I think the pleasure is ours, lah. Having someone with your workload and also the projects that you are conducting and still being able to find time to sit in with us at Academy Harimau Asia for this. I really have to thank you a lot. We will definitely remember your kind
My pleasure.
gesture, and I hope there will be more room for us to.
More to come.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
Come,
I will definitely be in touch with you. So
sure.
we have to work together, like what you said. Collaboration is integral, and it's also a door for many of our young people who want to be involved. With the work that you do, and also the kind of projects that are out there. I think it will be a fantastic stepping stone for many of those para belia yang ingin menyertai projek dan berkecimpung dalam segmen Encik. I think this is a peluang keemasan lah, to join us, to work with us together. I think Mr. Rashdan himself is looking for a lot of talent to come on board, to work with him and to continue the sustainable agenda that has been put forth, not just for Malaysia, but for the rest of the world. Now, on that note, I would like to thank you again, Rashdan, and thank you all who are tuning into this segment today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience, and our humble apologies for any shortcomings during the whole session. I believe there were some technical difficulties earlier, so we apologize for that. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, from me and on behalf of Mr. Rashdan and all of us at Academy Harimau Asia, thank you and good night.
See you again, guys. Okay.
Thank you, Rashdan. Thank you so much.
That's Mark. My pleasure.
Okay. So I'll be in touch with you. We will definitely have to talk.
Still